Hi, Pastor Matt Gorman here from the Community United Methodist Church in Leavenworth with the second in our series of interviews about interesting things people are doing in and around Leavenworth. I have Chris Emmel and Judy Rector who are involved in Days for Girls. And so I'm going to ask them to explain a little bit, maybe show some of the things they do. And my first question is, what is Days for Girls?
Hi, I'm Judy Rector, and I'm one of the workers for Days for Girls at Leavenworth Community United Methodist Church. And I want to emphasize that this is a community group that started this is our fourth year. We started 4 years ago, and the Sisters of Faith picked it up as a project they wanted to do. So we jumped right in, buying fabric and starting to sew, but more importantly, I wanted to share about the background of Days for Girls. It's called Days for Girls because by sharing products, a package, and I'll show that in a minute, with girls around the world, they are more easily able to manage their menstrual cycles. And this is not something that I thought much about, as an American woman. It's just something we took care of. But around the world, it's not that easy. And when I realized that, I wanted to do something to make a difference and help and change that. And so did a lot of my friends. So that's how we got started. I wanted to share 3 little stories. One very quickly about a Muslim girl who at 13 started her period, and she thought that she was being punished by God for her sins. And she never told anyone because she was so ashamed. And she managed this, her monthly cycle, thinking every month that she had done something terribly wrong. And she was full of guilt and shame and never shared with anyone until a Days for Girls seminar that she went to when she was 18 years old shared with her that this is a normal and natural function of being a woman. And she was so relieved, her whole personality changed. Another short story is about the situation in some schools in Kenya. And apparently because pads and materials for your period are expensive, girls that are poor can't afford those. So their male teachers encourage them to sleep with them, and in return, they're given pads. Now, when you hear stories like that, it's just, it makes you want to do something. Something small, something big, something. So Days for Girls gives the days back to the young ladies who receive these kits that they would normally be staying at home and taking care of their periods, because often when they have their period, they have no way to take care of it, so they sit on cardboard. They use dried leaves, or in some cases cow dung, which just leads to terrible infections and then sometimes death. So on that cheery note, washable kits handed out with health education are vital to the erasing of shame and the stigma that goes along with just a natural process. I'm going to turn it over to Chris, who has all kinds of other things to share.
This is the kit here. This is how it's received by the girls, and this is what's in it. There's a washcloth, it's all rolled up. There's a transport bag, which is what they bring the soiled materials home to wash from school. 2 pairs of underwear. This is a little bar of soap. This is a liner. All of this is washable. And this is what's called the shield, and it snaps around the underwear. So there's 2 of those. There are 8 liners. And then there's a card for keeping track of menstrual periods. All of these are sewn except for the washcloths and the underwear by volunteers. Days for Girls turns periods into pathways by health education. Most of these girls have no clue of physiology and anatomy and how a woman's body works. And so that's part of the distribution, is an education period with all the girls as they get their kits. There's also a social enterprise opportunity for women who want to make their own and start their own business. And so Days for Girls provides the materials, fabric, and the sewing machines as well. And then they can start to earn money. As they start to earn money, then they can apply for microloans to increase their business. And it just gives a financial boost to women around the world.
So how many people are involved in Days for Girls?
The local Leavenworth team of Days for Girls had at one point, at our largest, I think, had 57 members. And there seem to be about maybe a dozen that come regularly to our monthly meetings, which are usually work meetings where we sew and pack kits and get things ready to be distributed. Days for Girls started in 2008, and there have been 1.5 million kits distributed worldwide, with 70,000 volunteers also worldwide. So,
Who got the idea? Where did this start originally? Do you know that?
Yeah, a lady named Celeste Mergens from Bellingham, Washington, actually, was on a trip to Africa. And when she was there, she was visiting an orphanage. And one of her questions to the administrator was, what do girls do for their periods? And the administrator said nothing. They sit on cardboard. And they're out of school for 5 days, and then they come back to school. Well, the problem with that is that 1/4 of the month is gone. And girls can't keep up with the boys because they miss all that. They don't do as well on their exams. They end up falling behind, quitting school, getting pregnant, and the cycle starts again. They don't get the education, so they can't compete in the work world. Celeste said, that's interesting. Let's see what we can do about it. And she came home, and through 27 different variations of sewn washable answers to the question of what to do, they've come up with the current kit, and lots of revisions based on the young ladies that received the kit. This works, that's not quite as good, and they've come up with this one that works very well. So it's always open to change, but Celeste was the one who started it. And to meet the needs of so many young ladies in Africa and Asia and around the globe with one idea, spreading very quickly to women who understand and want to do something, it's really been an effective NGO. And last year, the United Nations asked Days for Girls to supply 15,000 kits to refugee camps. And the answer was 45,000 kits. They could then supply kits to various refugees all around the world. And that was an amazing response. And I think our group did 300 and some kits. I can't remember exactly.
Yes, that's right.
But that's our little contribution, and we felt really good about sending it. So in response to the COVID, we were asked, because we were not a team, but we're all volunteer sewers, we were asked by hospitals, could you make masks? And so we got a directive from headquarters, stop making kits, put that on hold, please make masks for anyone who asks for it. And we have done that, and we've made 650 plus masks as a team, given to Cascade Hospital, Mountain Meadows Retirement Center, different businesses that have asked for them. And we're continuing to make masks for individuals who ask. And all of that is volunteer. And the supplies we get, sometimes people give us money for fabric, because fabric can be very expensive. but mostly it's volunteer. People say, oh, I've got this left over from my quilt. Can you use it? And we get our fabric that way. So the project is called Masks for Millions, and we've gone way over 1 million masks worldwide, because this is not just a local problem, this is all over the world. So, Days for Girls has been able to help in that regard. You want to talk about the laws?
Certain progressive states, like Washington State, has repealed the tax on menstrual hygiene products, and that's been a huge help. Also around the world, New Zealand gives free supplies to girls through the school system, and Cambodia is using our health education flip charts in their schools. So it's been a real international project.
Effort, yeah. And the flip chart is now available in 7 different languages. So when Days for Girls representative goes to a different area in the world for health education, they can take the language for the area, for the region. Our team went to Haiti, or not the team, but I went to Haiti, and with the help of a local translator, we did education for 3 different schools. And if I had a way to get the kids there, I would do it for more schools. But it was hard. I took 112 kids with me, and we went to the schools, and my translator friend did an amazing job teaching, and the girls were so excited to get something that they could use, because they simply stay home because they're sick. If someone is sick, that means they're having their period. So they miss school and then end up dropping out. So we don't want that. So when all this is over with the COVID, we're hopefully going to take more kids back to Haiti, because I like to support that country if I can.
So if someone wanted to get involved and help out with Days for Girls, whether that's financially or sewing or whatever other ways are needed, what would you tell them?
We welcome any and all support. If you are a quilter and you would like to sew for us or with us, please come. If you don't want to sew and you just want to give us part of your stash to use for our projects and for our kits, we'd welcome that too. If you're in the community and you're not a member of the church, we still welcome you. We want everybody who wants to be part of this effort to join us. We have a great time sewing and visiting and knowing that we're making a difference. For some young lady we will never meet, but we are making a change in their education and their opportunity to succeed in life, and to change the shame and the stigma that goes along with a natural process. So welcome. Please give the church a call if you're interested. Thanks.